Hello my internet friends, John Gibson here with I Need Examples. This video will describe the formula syntax and usage of the average function in Microsoft Excel. To get an average of a set of numbers, you are adding up all the numbers and then dividing by how many numbers there are. So if I have 5 numbers, 10, 15, 2, 45, and 18, and add them up, I get 90. Since there are 5 numbers, I will divide 90 by 5 and get 18. This is my average. In Excel, the average function returns the average of the arguments given. The syntax of the average function is equals average, open parentheses, and then your arguments, and close parentheses. Only the first argument is required, which can be a number, cell reference, or a range for which you want to find the average. Any additional arguments are optional, but again, they can be a number, cell reference, or a range you want the average. You can have up to 255 arguments in the average function. Let's start with the most basic use of the average function. Click on cell A1. This is where we want our average function to be placed. Click on the Insert Formula button. An Insert Function dialog box will appear. Click on the Search for a Function search box. If there is any text in this box, you will need to remove it. Now type in average and click on Go. In the Select a Function, you will see a list of functions pertaining to average. If you are unsure of which function you are looking for, you could click on each function, and below the Select a Function box, you will see the syntax and description of that function. We are looking for average, which is the first function in the list. Click on average, and then click on OK. Now the function arguments box will appear. The only requirement for average is the first number, which is represented in bold. Let's put in our numbers. In the number 1 argument box, enter 10. In the number 2 argument box, enter 15. When we entered in a number in number 2 argument box, a new argument box appears, number 3. Let's enter 2 in this box, 45 in the number 4 argument box, and finish it off with number 18 in the number 5 argument box. Now that we have entered our arguments, you can see the formula results in the function arguments box. It has a value of 18. This is the desired value. Click on OK. Now in cell 1, you can see our value is now 18. Let's review the formula we just created. Click on cell A1 and you will see in the formula bar our new formula. Equals average, open parentheses, 10, 15, 2, 45, 18, close parentheses. If you wish to change any of the values, click on cell A1 and click on the Formula Insert button, and the Function Arguments box will reappear with all of the arguments we entered. Let's change argument number 3 to 20 and click on OK. Our value in cell A1 is now 21.6. In our next example, we will get the average of the values in column A. We want the average results to be in cell C2. Click on cell C2, then click on the Insert Function button, and our Insert dialog box will appear. Since the last function we used was average, you will see it now in the first option in our Select a Function dialog box. If you do not see the average function, simply click on the Search for a Function text box, remove the text, and type average and click Go. Click on the average function in the Select a Function box and click OK. Our Function Arguments box will appear. Sometimes the Function Arguments box will make assumptions and pre-fill our first argument. In this case, it made the assumptions that we wanted the average of cells A2 through B2. This is not the results we're looking for. Select the number 1 argument and delete the value. Now let's select our range. Select the number 1 argument text box and select cells A2 through A6. To do this, click and hold your left mouse button on cell A2, then drag your mouse down to cell A6 and let go of the left mouse button. The value in the number 1 arguments text box should now read A2:A6. On the right side of the argument box, you will see the list of numbers in this cell range. To check that we have the correct results, you can see the formula result is 18. This is the desired value. Now that we have the correct cell range selected, click on OK. Our average value of 18 has now populated cell C2. Let's review our formula by clicking on cell C2. In the formula bar, you will see equals average, open parentheses, A2:A6, close parentheses. If you click on the arguments, the value will change to a blue color along with the corresponding cells A2 through A6. Let's stay with this same example, but add another argument to the function we just created. Click on cell C2 and click on the Insert Function button. The Function Arguments dialog box will appear and you will see the number 1 argument value is filled with A2:A6. Before we add a new argument, look at the formula results value. It is 18. That is because it has taken the values from A2 through A6 and given us the average of these numbers. Now add a new argument. Let's enter 18. As you can see, after we enter this value, the formula results is still 18. The reason for this is the value in number 1 argument equals 18, and the value in argument number 2 box equals 18. 18 plus 18 equals 36. Divide that by the number of arguments, 2, and you will get 18. Even though the number 1 argument is created using 5 different numbers, the value is the average of these numbers, giving us 1 argument. With this understanding of how arguments work, we could set up the function to use multiple ranges. Let's try this out by getting the average of value 1 and value 2 cell ranges. Click on the cell we wish to place our value, C1, then click on Insert Function. The Insert Function dialog box appears. Select the average in the Select a Function box and click on OK. Select the number 1 argument text box and delete any values that were auto-populated. Select our first range, A2 through A6. Now click on the number 2 argument text box and select the range B2 through B6. There, we have set up our 2 arguments. Remember, the number 1 and number 2 argument boxes are average of the selected ranges, so we are averaging only 2 values, not 10. Click on OK, and you will see our value in C2 is now 17.4. Here are a couple of items to remember when working with averages. Let's take our value 1 and value 2 example. In cell B4, let's change the value to 0. As you can see, the value in C2 has changed to 15.5. 0 is a valid number and will be counted in the average of cells B2 through B6. Now let's remove the 0 in B4 by deleting it. As you can see, the value in C2 is now 17.2. Excel did not count this cell while calculating the average of the cells B2 through B6. So instead of 5 values to divide from, it only divided by 4. Along the same lines as an empty cell is if there is a non-numeric value in our range of values. Again, let's change cell B4, but instead of a number, replace it with a letter A. As you can see, the value in cell C2 is now 17.22. This is because cell B4 is not a number and is not part of the average of cells B2 through B6. Now, even though the average in a range of cells will ignore a non-numeric value, adding a non-numeric value to an argument will not work. Click on cell C2 and click on the Insert Function button. Click on the number 2 argument box so a new argument box will appear. Click on the number 3 argument box and type in the letter A. As you can see, an error in red appears letting us know the value that we put in the argument box is not a number. Clicking on OK will result in C2 having an error of #name?. This is letting us know that we do not have a correct value or reference in this argument. Thank you for watching. Again, this is John Gibson with I Need Examples. Please like and subscribe. It does help the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of your day.